What's up everyone, welcome back to another POV analysis. Today we're gonna have a look at Bunny's TVT. If you guys didn't know, Maru actually had a incredible TVT streak where I don't know exactly how many it was, but I think at least 20 maps in a row that he won. And this was against all the top Terrans. I believe Cure was there, Dream, Clem, you name them, they were all there. And Bunny actually broke that streak, I think it was last week, in the TSL winner bracket. So I just wanted to have a look at how he did it. For context, this was an upper bracket round 2 and it was actually 1-1. I just had a look at game 1 before. I was really curious because they're actually teammates. And in TVT, especially when builders matter, that does come into play. And I was really wondering, with Bunny knowing so much about Maru, what would his way to counter Maru be? And I think there's honestly a few options. I think the number one option is to do something crazy in the early game, because in TVT there is definitely some luck in builder sometimes. So I would say doing something crazy in the early game, getting ahead, and then closing the game out. I also honestly think that even though Maru's TVT late game is really good, I think playing him in that phase is also not a bad idea, because the most of the times when I see Maru win, it feels like everyone is so scared of his late game that they don't even try, and even if they're ahead, they just push, 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 but Maru just holds and then they still lose. And I feel like a lot of Terrans, they actually have it in them to compete with him in the late game. So I think it's one of those options. If I had to guess for Bunny, Bunny's a more aggressive player. He would probably prefer to end the games fast. I just watched game 1, and what happened in game 1 was that he held Maru did a build he does the most, which is tank drop. Bunny did a build that was really good against it, and then punished him fast with a tank push of his own. And I think that makes perfect sense, because I feel like when you play against Maru and you get ahead, you do want to make sure to finish it at some point, unless you are really willing to go to that late game, right? But there is still the chance that you throw the game away by attacking in tanks over and over. So Bunny actually, he was very tactical with it. He didn't push too far. He just made sure to keep pressure on and on until he really had his opportunity and killed him. And that's also what Bunny is good at, right? Bunny's really good at finding holes in the defense and finishing the game, and that's what he did. And now I'm curious to see what he's gonna do in this game. So far, it seems like Bunny has been very aware of the strategies that Maru chooses. So whatever he does this game, it probably is to blind counter something that Maru does. Even this move, by the way. He sends his Reaper, like this is a complete, insane read by Bunny. He sends one Reaper here because he feels like Maru is gonna play Reaper into Reactor, and which means he's only gonna have one Reaper. You can see the Hellion is still really far out. Actually gets lucky, does damage, and somehow gets a little damage done with one Reaper against a double gas opener. Like, if this is how all the games went, all the mind games went, then I can imagine it must have been a very frustrating series for Maru. Because this is already a pretty annoying move to deal with, and it works out too. And here, if you look at the builder, it actually does seem like Bunny had the perfect read. What Bunny did here, this is a very good build against early pressures, by the way, is he didn't make a Hellion, he went straight into Tech Lab. And this build is really good if people play, for example, the Cure Reactor opener, where they push with 3 Hellions and 5 Reapers. Like any kind of push like that. And the reason is because you're going to have 2 Cyclones out instead of 1. And you'll snipe 2 units for free. And yeah, the push pretty much ends with that already. And that seems to be exactly what Maru is doing. He does have the Starper, but actually the Starper timing on that is normal. So yeah, this just looks like a standard build from Maru. And Bunny has the counter to it. This is actually a way I lose a lot of my ladder games as well. I play the build Maru's doing with the fast reactor, the Reaper Hellion pressure. And my opponents play the 2 Cyclone version. So yeah, once again, definitely a very good read by Bunny here. And if he really has the perfect read, he would go in with his Reapers in about 30 seconds, because that's when Maru would move out. That would be actually incredible if he does that. But let's see. Let's not jump to conclusions already. Seems like he might. He's very tempted to go in. If you play a tournament like this, even if you know the timings, it is very easy to doubt yourself. To be like, I know he probably isn't doing that. I should go a little bit faster. And yeah, it seems kind of like that's what happened as well. I think Maru may have delayed his attack a little bit, actually looking at it, because he did make the medevac. So I think Bunny actually did have the perfect timing in mind. He just didn't realize that it was the medevac version that Maru was doing. So even though that was a little bit of a failed move by Bunny there, the read was still there. Just slightly off. Now he's got the 2 Cyclones. This is also what he did in game 1, by the way. Normally, TVT, you would always go straight for the Raven, straight for the tanks. Those units are just MVPs. Raven and tanks, they dominate all of TVT. But Bunny did the same in game 1. He goes for a Medevac because, like I said, Maru's really good at late game, but he always opens with something, you know, to harass with. He really loves his tank drop, and apparently he likes this build as well because Bunny is countering it hard. And he's actually gonna shut it down extra hard by making a Viking instead of a Raven, which is super cool. Now, I don't know where Maru's going to hit from. It could be the natural, it could be the main as well. With the Medevac, I'm judging it will be the main. Yeah, there we go. And yeah, this looks like disaster for Maru. He didn't see the 2 Cyclones coming from the top. He's already committed. He's going to lose the Medevac. He could probably save like 2 Reapers or something if he tries. But he's actually going to commit and he's going to lose all of them. Well, he saves the Reinforcement Reapers, which is good. But yeah, obviously a pretty tragic start. Okay, wait, hold up. Look at this. Bunny holds the attack, instantly slaps down the 4th gas. Which means that he wants to attack on 2 base. That's actually very interesting. He didn't even hesitate for a second. I was on his POV, you could see. Attack was held, boom, he jumped to the natural and made a 2nd gas. Which means that he really does not want to miss out on any starport or factory production. And he's even going to go for a 2nd starport here. Okay, now this is... a pretty unusual move. I feel like I've only really seen Korean Terrans do this. But it totally makes sense. This is a build you guys could try out as well. Obviously, here it seemed like it was reactive. But this is an awesome strategy by Bunny, I have to say. Because like I said, he's ahead. You don't want to let Maru get back into the late game anyway. So he did just that. This is basically like game 1. He read Maru like a book, shut down the early harassment to get a lead, and now it's looked like he's going to try to kill him within a few minutes even. What the 2nd starport is for, if you're curious, by the way, is you can make more Vikings so you get the air control fast, and then you can actually add a Liberator. If you would add a Liberator normally, when it's just reactor starport against reactor starport, the opponent just has more Vikings than you, and it doesn't do anything. But with the 2nd starport, you get the air control really fast. As you can see in the production tab, Maru making a 3rd CC, barracks behind, seems to have no idea about this. Obviously, he lost all of his scouting units, so normally, I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of the double starport, but in this case, after that early game, I think it's very smart by Bunny here. Actually really like what I'm seeing. Obviously, if you play 2 Cyclones, you can completely deny scouting as well. Oh, that was a cool move. Maru actually scanned, so he would kill the Cyclone still. Because this is actually a line of sight blocker. That's a cute move there by Maru. Maru actually wins that trade. He traded 1 Cyclone for 1 Cyclone and made another one low HP. But this is where the air control is really going to kick in. Maru cannot really contest this. How many Vikings does he have? He has 0 Vikings. Bunny's producing 3 at a time. And there you can see the Liberators are actually already coming out. And then I'm not sure what Maru's going to do against that. He is going to have to try and break this at some point. Could be now. Oh, he's actually sieging very close. Keep in mind Maru has 3 Raven. That's 5 auto turrets. A lot of damage being dished out. But the Viking count is so high that the Ravens can't even really escape. And he can even land them. You know, landing Vikings is always insane. Either they die instantly or they shred. Landing them on mechanical units they do so much damage. It feels really good. And this is just the strength of this push. Maru has no option, as you can see. He's just making more Ravens. If Maru makes a Medevac, a Viking, it's just not gonna have any use against this. So he's just trying to make Ravens, come in from behind, drop auto turrets, put interference matrices. And I like that move by Maru too. But I think Bunny might actually have chosen the better strat here. I do wonder how he's going to transition from this at some point, because it's such a slow killing move. He's going to make a 3rd on location, Bunny is. And I imagine you cannot really play mech behind this. Now I know mech is not that popular right now anyway, but I imagine that it's still going to be bio, like a few barracks. Vikings are very mineral intensive though. Like I haven't done these kind of builds a lot, so I'm also like trying to eye the transition here, you know. See what a transition looks like. Now Maru actually moved out on the map at some point with some units. And this is basically to cut off reinforcements and create a big flank later. And Bunny's just going to have to try to set up against that. So he has so many tanks, it seems fine. I have to say, once again, the move by Maru to make more Ravens instead of anything else, I think is pretty genius. Without those Ravens, he would not have a shot. Right now he has 3 and he's making 4. And I could totally see him matrix 3 or 4 tanks and actually get a somewhat decent trade. Because right now it just looks hopeless. I don't know where the Ravens are going to come from though. Probably from the top. And he has to go soon, else he's going to lose his natural. Bunny did slap down 2 barracks, by the way, so it is a bio-transition. Ravens actually came from the back there. And this is a situation where landed Vikings are not that good, as you can see. When they're just battling Marines, suddenly they're not actually dealing damage. And that was a monstrous fight by Maru, I have to say, but... Is it gonna matter? I'm not so sure. Bunny up 16 workers. I mean, honestly, better than you expected, right? Better than I expected. Probably better than you expected as well, I have to imagine. Maru actually did not have stim because the tanks denied it earlier. Keep in mind that his little siege here. It's easy to say why didn't he just push the natural right away, but if you siege here, you will shave off anything that's too close to the edge. It could be a reactor on the starport, could be a stim, could be anything really. That was a super important move with this build. Now, does he have E-base yet, Bunny? He actually went straight up to 5 barracks. So, I'm not sure if that was intentional. I would guess it is, because Bunny has been playing so well recently. But, since he was so far ahead in eco, I mean, he still is. But he wasn't really safe yet, because he didn't have a lot of units. Maybe he actually decided to make more barracks over his E-base. And this is once again a move that speaks to what I was saying. He was ahead, and he really doesn't want to let Maru live, even when behind. So this move seemed a bit YOLO, but he just kind of wants to force those early trades, really make sure that Maru can make some crazy outplays and get back into the game. And yeah, I'm loving it. And now Bunny's own third CC is done. Does seem like that was a little bit of a mistake to build a third on location, by the way. Because this CC should have been finished way faster, but Maru actually denied it because Bunny did make it on location. Which could have been a small mistake. Does Bunny have his upgrades yet? Let's see. Bunny has stim. Okay. That's important. But yeah, Maru's gonna have to break out of this. Though, this situation is also potentially scary for Bunny. Because if you're playing 2 starport, you don't have a lot of meat to the army. Your army is tanks and air control, and that's it. So if you ever get like a really big surround, it can actually be pretty problematic. So what's very important for Bunny here is to keep zoning very well with the Vikings. Maybe put a scan now and then.
Add-on complete.
Yeah, I like this. I was about to say, he should probably not reinforce, but pull his army back. Because a double medevac drop with 1-1 and combat shields against just stim could actually be very dangerous. And he pulled back at the perfect time. Did you guys see that? Literally, the medevacs were about to approach. He pulls his main army back. Those are going to snipe down the medevacs. And this drop has already pretty much been nullified. Like, he's gonna lose some workers here. Actually, only 2. But this is huge. Any trade you can get is Bunny. And I'm actually not sure if he saw the medevac or if he just felt it. Sometimes that's actually a thing, by the way. Sometimes you just feel it like, something's not right. There's really a Dark Templar right here, you know? And then it didn't happen. So I don't know if he felt it or if he saw something. But that was the perfect time to pull back. This is a pretty tough thing to deal with on curious minds. Like these tank spots over the third. You also have them on the other side over here. He's probably going to have to use his air control for that. As you can see, he's starting a Liberator already. I do really like that. And if you're in this good of a spot, like Bunny's doing the right thing, you really don't want to YOLO win. I think Bunny could maybe take this trade, but, you know, it would actually be one way to lose the game for sure. Maru knows he has to go. Bunny in position with most of his units, not all of them, but most. And you can see, you know, attacking into tanks just a little bit too hard. Bunny chose the right position. And I think that's pretty much going to be it for Maru. I mean, Bunny still has to finish the game. Like, you know, Maru comes back from crazy games so often that, you know, if I was casting this, or even worse, if I was playing as Maru here, I would really not count him out. So Bunny still has to finish it. I mean, if you look at the worker count and the upgrades, it doesn't look so bad for Maru, right? But if you look at the army supply, different story. He's actually still going to play it safe, looks like. He's actually going to siege the Liberator. Vikings up in the sky. And I do really like the approach from Bunny this game. Like, game 1 and 3, he won them in the same way, which shows that he really chose the right approach. He did a build order that he knew would get him ahead against Maru. And then he put enough pressure to not allow Maru to get back into the game, avoiding that famous Maru late game. And yeah, maybe it's even the best way to do it, because he has done it as the first player in a long time, beating Maru in the TVT. And you know, we just have to applaud the effort here. Well done by Bunny. And yeah, that was awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Feel free to put any questions in the comments, of course. Leave a like and sub. And I'll see you guys next time. Adios.